So I'm just going to introduce myself, and then if you can introduce yourself as well. Hi, I'm Corey. I'm a level 3 student at BTA, and this is my interview for Blood Wedding.
Great. I'm Kevin Morris. I'm here to be interviewed by you.
Thank you. Okay, let's get straight into it. First question is, do you believe in fate?
No, not really. No, I think you make your own luck, and your own path then is made for you. So I think there's very much as kind of you go through as you grow up a learning process, and I think there's sort of nature and nurture. So I think the way that you are nurtured or the way you're brought up very much sort of sets the path that you're on, and I think that's the path that you then follow very much.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Do you believe that like maybe any point in your life you maybe possibly have experienced it, or you're just fully like, no, this is definitely not?
Oh yeah, I definitely think there are points where you think, wow, how did that happen? You know, a good example for us as a family is we for a number of years through my career, but also just as a family, we wanted to move to a different country. We wanted to move to America actually, and then an opportunity came up, and then we did do that. We lived there for 6 years. So I think in a way, I often sort of look back and think, well, did we make that happen, or was that something that just happened? You know, was it fate that kind of made that happen? I don't know the answer to that, because it was something that we wanted to do. I didn't ever think it was really possible in my career, but then all of a sudden it became possible. So yeah, I don't know. It is a different one, isn't it? Is it fate, or is it just kind of natural thing that happened, or we made it happen because that was what we really wanted to do? But we made it happen, and it did happen. So
cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Next question is, do you think that society shapes who we are more than we shape society?
Yeah, and I think that's happening more and more at the moment. I think with social media and with the way that we now are able to communicate much wider and easier, I do think we're being shaped much more um, mainly by social media, but through the form of communication that brings. It's not just social media. I think what you're served up when you go on to, you know, even if you're opening an email, there's often adverts, and there's often you know, you often see experiences, or even from television shows like the Kardashians, you end up having an aspiration which is being sort of in a way drilled into you at the moment. I think Trump's America is doing that so much at the moment, and it's weird, and I don't quite know how, but you see that the elite in America, especially, and it's because of American society, which is very different to UK society or British society. In America, it's celebrated to be rich and be famous and do well, whereas here we're even still quite embarrassed about wealth and doing quite well. But that celebration in America is becoming so much because that elite group of people like Trump, Elon Musk, Bezos, all these very, very rich people are now controlling and having so much power, especially within politics, which they never had before.
A little bit like the manosphere. And
definitely, yeah. And I think the manosphere is an interesting thing that is happening because we've made our society more equal, which it absolutely needed to be. You know, there's no reason why women should have less opportunities than men. There's no reason why certain ethnic groups, whether you're Jewish or black or anything like that, should have different values or different hopes or aspirations. But unfortunately, that did happen. But and because we've started to equal that out the best we possibly can. Now we've got this like backlash. The manosphere's come along and said, "Oh, hold on, why should women be equal to men?" Well, I don't get it at all. I think it's horrible. But yeah, you're right, and I think that I'm sure that there is now a generation of young men coming through that potentially are seeing that and thinking that's the right thing to do. So it's a real shame if we're going to go backwards from that position.
What are your sort of opinions on social media? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, or you're not in the middle? Or?
No, I think it is a very, very good thing. I think, unfortunately, it's being used by some people in the wrong way at the moment. I think it's too easy to get addicted to it. Even my wife is completely addicted to Snapchat. She just sits there continually scrolling on it. I do a little bit on Facebook as well. But right now there's too many of those. There's too much negativity on there,
Yeah.
which means that you're being served up with kind of stuff that will take people in the wrong direction if they're that way inclined already. So
Cool.
yeah, I think it's a shame. So,
Thank
yeah.
you.
But overall, I mean, in terms of it as a communication platform, if I think about when I was young, when I was a teenager, you know, I didn't even have a mobile phone. So
Yeah.
communicating with my, you know, telling my mum and dad that I was going to be late home was a nightmare. I had to find a phone box. So, you know, having so many different social media and communication strategies right now is just fantastic. So, yeah.
Cool. Next question is, do our wants and desires truly belong to us, or are they shaped by what society tells us to want?
Yeah, I think they're more and more being shaped by what society wants. I think society has always had norms that. So yeah, I kind of remember in my day it was normal to, you know, leave school and get a job and find a wife, buy a house, not necessarily in that order, but you know, in some kind of an order, and then you know, then have babies, and it's weird. Why should it be like that? I don't know. And society is, if you don't follow those norms, then society seems to think you're weird or odd or something like that, which I think is really strange. I was hoping that it would be more, there would be less pressure on people to follow those norms, but I don't really think that's happening. I think those norms are still there. People still expect, you know, young people coming out of university to get a job straight away, and then you know, get married straight away, have babies straight away, and have all those normal type things. Whereas it shouldn't be normal. Why should we stick with those kind of things? But we do.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So yeah.
And then the final question is, do you think that we really choose our actions, or are our choices already decided by things we can't control?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I think that we have an inherent kind of voice in the back of our head that tells us what the norms are that we should be doing. So I do think, to a certain extent, they're kind of set. But I would hope that we have so many more choices now that we should be able to kind of do whatever we want, go whichever way we want. But I do think it's probably pretty much set, unfortunately. So, yeah.
Do you sort of like, is it like sort of like the good and bad thing on the shoulder, where it's like the angel and the demon? Or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and in a way, I think the, you know, the angel in a way is trying to say these are the norms that you should be following, and the devil is trying to pull you away and make you do something different, which is great. So it's good that we've got both those bits going on, but unfortunately, I think the norms often make us stick with the plan, which is not good. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. That's the end of the interview.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff.